This is a 4-part analysis of the Canada Goose. Our particular focal organism that you see here is a giant Canada Goose. She is also a nesting mother who has chosen a heavily trafficked urban area for her nesting ground.
Doing this for a class project.
As pointed out by David Miller in The Condor, the nest site plays an important role in determining the overall fitness of a brood and of the mother. If the predation is high in a nesting site, both risk the chance of not surviving. Therefore, I think the causation of choosing an urban nesting ground and protecting it aggressively has to do with biological instinct to avoid predation. Although this area is low in resources for the mother, the priority is avoiding predation for the eggs who have already been given their nutrient provisions. So her priority becomes avoiding predation, which makes this location optimal, even though it's low in resources, because the high volume of human traffic and lack of resources means that there won't be any of her natural predators in the area. I would hypothesize that the development of these behaviors has to do with predation as well. The mothers who chose to nest in urban areas and developed an aggressive protection had the higher survival rates, and therefore those genes were passed on to those eggs who continued those behaviors. The evolution of the Canada goose in urban areas is very fascinating. They were an animal that was almost extinct at the turn of the 20th century, and then in the mid-century, about 1950, is when suburban standards started happening in neighborhoods, and we created basically perfect habitats for these animals: golf courses, neighborhood ponds, and these areas, strip malls with small patches of vegetation and plenty of protection. And that is how they became basically pests. They're everywhere in the United States because they have a perfect habitat anywhere that they go. And about 75% of the Canada goose population chooses to reside in urban habitats rather than in rural ones. The function of these behaviors is obvious in how the population has grown and spread. Without these urban habitats to dwell in and the aggressive behavior with which they protect them, their fitness would not have been sustained so well in a population that's grown to 5 million individual organisms across the United States. Their growth as a species has been inextricably linked with our own, and we have found a way to coexist among them, although we never planned for it. And they have benefited from urban progress and industrial exploration more than any other species probably has. They have an incredible knack for adaptation and will probably continue to grow as our society progresses right alongside them.